I would like to introduce you to our esteemed guest speaker today, a true powerhouse in business world. With over 30 years of experience and 9 Emmy Awards to her name, Lissa's career is nothing short of remarkable. Her expertise stretches from coast to coast, where she has made a profound impact in cities like Denver, Nashville, Gilbert, and right here in Scottsdale. As the driving force behind Riot Hospitality Group's national government relations, industry relations, and external communications, Lissa has not only shaped the company's national presence, but has also played a key role in success of its operations across multiple cities. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Lissa's passion for her heritage shines through in her dedication to championing Italian culture. This commitment has earned her prestigious title of, okay, bear with me. I'm going to try this. Cavaliere del Ordine della Stella d'Italia. That is a knighthood bestowed by the President of Italy, a true honor that reflects her influence and dedication. And as if all of this weren't impressive enough, Lissa and her Riot Hospitality Group are former Sterling Award honorees, a testament to her leadership and impact within our community. We are incredibly fortunate to have her with us today. Please join me in welcoming a true leader and trailblazer, Lissa Druss.
That's pretty good. Thank you so much. I cannot tell you what an honor it is to be here today. Mark, my heart and love and soul goes out to you for getting us so ingratiated with the Chamber of Commerce, and I appreciate you. And everyone at the Chamber, Stephanie, you've been wonderful. Everyone here, it's an incredible relationship, and we just love it so much. I also want to say hello again, officially, to our elected officials here. Mayor David Ortega, Councilmember Tammy Caputi, thank you for being here. And our Vice Mayor of Paradise Valley, you're also an elected official. So I am very happy to be with Riot Hospitality Group. We are a premier national hospitality management company based right here in Scottsdale. We have about 1,000 employees across the country. We focus on restaurants, nightlife, hotel, food and beverage, and we have 14 locations across the country, in Denver, Nashville, Gilbert, and of course, Scottsdale. Here we have restaurant concepts, Farm and Craft and Hand Cuts Chop House, and we also have a fantastic partnership with Caesars Republic, and we have the restaurant 7 on the 7th floor, probably the best sunset in Scottsdale. Our nightlife venues are Riot House, El Jefe, Cake District, Maya Day Club, Clubhouse at Maya, and Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row, and we're adding even more locations. So I'd like to just give you a preview of a little bit of our brands and what our locations look like. Yeah. I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on, break it down. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling. love themselves a little Justin Timberlake. I know every move to that dance video, by the way. So I am happy to announce that next year will be Riot Hospitality Group's 15th anniversary. Our entire company was started by one man, Ryan Hibbert, on the left, and months later, our Chief Operating Officer, Justin Cohen, joined him, and they've been on this fantastic ride ever since. He's here today. But let's just say, you know the saying, behind every great man, there's a greater woman. Well, at Riot Hospitality Group, it's women. Many of our corporate leadership positions are held by a woman, and many of my colleagues are here today. Ladies of Riot, will you please stand up? And that's not even all of them. So our relationship, I can't talk about enough with the Chamber. And Stephanie, thank you for referencing that we are the reigning Sterling Big Business Award winners, and that was us when we won, so you can see we were a little happy. All right, so what exactly do I do? That's a good question. As our company's National Government Affairs Director, I create and manage our relationships with elected officials in cities we operate. As a board member and executive director of our foundation, Riot Gives Back, I also manage our relationships with our first responders, our communities in the cities that we operate in. And whenever life gives us a little bit of a hiccup, I also manage those things too, including the media. That's okay, that's what I used to do. But let me take you back to 2020. The first case of COVID was one of our employees in this state. Don't remember, that was a fun day with a fun phone call. We're like, what? That made news, and then more cases were showing up. But we are a company that cares.
Riot Hospitality Group manages Riot House and 2 other bars nearby. A spokesperson says they haven't seen the evidence and says they've gone above and beyond, but are voluntarily closing through the weekend.
You and I are not scientists and not doctors, so we can't comment on how and why it's spreading. But again, if we had that opportunity and we took the opportunity to voluntarily close, to limit the amount of people here in Old Town, we did that because we thought it was the absolute right thing to do.
That's right. We shut down the Thursday by ourselves. We have the most venues in Old Town. We thought it was the right thing to do. Safeguarding our employees, but also limiting the amount of people coming into the entertainment district because we didn't know what we were facing. We chose to be a leader over profit. And the next night, Governor Ducey shut everything down. Closing really was the right thing to do. And that's what we do. We try and do the right thing all the time. So I've been talking a lot about our Riot Hospitality brand. But if you take one thing away from today, remember that you may work for a company or a city or a person that has a brand, but you also have a brand, your own personal brand. And that is the most important brand that you must build, nurture, grow, and at an early age, protect. That's how I found out. My brand first took a hit when I was at University of Arizona. I was in the television studio as a junior, absolutely loving my classes because I was going to be a television journalist, and I knew I wanted to do that. And my professor told me I was never going to make it. Crushing. But being Italian, I'm a bit hard-headed, and I said, fuck it. And I worked even harder because I knew what I wanted to do. In the spring of my junior year, I went home to Chicago and cold called every television station we had in Chicago. And Channel 2 invited me in for an interview. They had filled every position, but they found one for me, and that changed my life. Anyone here from Chicago originally? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You'll know that. It changed my life. Thanks for laughing at that, Coco. A few months after graduating college, Channel 2 actually gave me a full-time job at age 21 in the most ruthless newsroom in the country. I was there just a few weeks when a woman started spreading a rumor that the only reason why I got my job was because I was sleeping with my boss, a woman. With that comment, I'm like, okay, I'm in a dog-eat-dog world and I'm wearing Milk-Bone underwear. I got to protect my brand. So when I started at KVOA in Tucson, but I spent most of my career at CBS in Chicago and Los Angeles as a manager and a producer. So in Los Angeles, I covered the O.J. Simpson trial with this guy you might know on the left. His name is Harvey Levin. You might know him from a show called TMZ. 30 years later, Harvey and his partner Andy and I are still incredibly close friends, and this photo was just taken a couple months ago when we were in Los Angeles. Do you recognize this guy on the right? Some guy named Lester Holt. He's the NBC nightly news anchor. This is Lester and me in El Salvador back in 1997. Nice shorts. Back at Channel 2 in Chicago, I was his producer for all of his international stories. And by the way, at Channel 2, our bosses once told him he was never going to make it. So I segued into sports years after that, becoming one of the first women executive producers in the sports department in the country. Ultimately, I covered 3 Super Bowls, 5 of 6 Bulls championships, countless other events. Doing post-game interviews with Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman were natural for me. It's what I did. I had a blessed career, and yes, I won 9 Emmys. Thank you for pointing that out. But one day when I was in the sports department, I got a call from my best friend Willard, who worked at CBS Sports in New York. He told me that he was on the phone with Norm. Norm was an older gentleman that I leapfrogged over when I became the executive producer of the department. And he said, you know, Norm said to me, and he must have been mad that day, and he goes, you can talk to the blonde producer about that. She walks around with a mattress on her back. Now, in sports, women weren't a lot around, and I saw women do unethical things to try and get ahead. And I was like, I'm not going to be that girl. I never dated an athlete. I never dated anyone I worked with. I kept my nose to the grindstone. It's probably why I didn't get married till my mid-30s. But that's why I worked so hard on my brand, because I did not want to be that person. What Willard told me that day was crushing, and I still to this day remember where I was when he called me and told me that. But that was my best friend. He told me what I didn't want to hear, but he told it to me anyways. Then it got worse. Years later, I was the executive producer at Comcast Sportsnet, a sports network that I helped launch in 6 cities, but this story takes place back in Chicago. I was married at the time, and my husband worked for the Chicago Bears in media relations. So it's 4-something in the afternoon. We're getting ready for our first show at 5:30, bustling newsroom. And I'm listening to sports talk radio. And I hear the hosts, who I know very well, start talking about me. I'm like, what? And one of the hosts was apparently in a foul mood that day. And he said, well, when you look up the word bitch in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Lissa. You can have her. Everyone else already has. I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, radio's on, newsroom's bustling, and I'm looking around going, did anyone just hear that? What did just happen on Chicago Sports Radio? Is this happening to me again? So I called my husband. He's driving home from work, listening to sports hosts that make $600,000 a year, hosts that he has to deal with on a daily basis, saying awful things about his wife, the mother of his child. Silently, I'm just like, I can't believe this. So the host was suspended for 3 days, but he ended up taking time off for 4 weeks. So at this point, I'm a working mother who was just slandered on the air. While I was confident in who I was, my brand took a major hit. This time it was public. I became the subject of many news stories. I was part of a Wikipedia page explaining the incident. And all I could think was, thank God my daughter, who was just 1 year old, didn't know what happened. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Fast forward to 2010. I said it was my time to leave the business of television news because it became a business, and I loved being a journalist. So I took my 30 years of storytelling and turned it into telling stories for clients. or kill stories in crisis communication. So now I had this brand of a successful, accomplished journalist with a Rolodex a mile deep and the public defamation of my brand behind me. So I started working on other people's brands. I joined an old friend, Tom Seraphin, and his firm, Seraphin & Associates in Chicago. It's a strategic communication and public affairs firm. This was a scenario of not being at the right place at the right time, but I was the right person doing the right things at the right place and time. It was natural for me. My years of covering politics groomed me to become working seamlessly in politics. My years of being a television news journalist, shoving a mic in people's faces, asking those hard questions, groomed me to be a skilled crisis communicator. And it's at Seraphin that I learned the art of saying, if you don't manage your message, someone's going to manage it for you. If you don't manage your message, someone will manage it for you. So as a journalist, I always worked with people like Tom Seraphin, who would be a spokesperson for a company or an event, but I never understood until I went into private practice how much skilled communicators would be able to spin a response to protect a brand. Oops, there you go. A company's brand, your own brand. And yes, it is called spin. It's what you do. Spin the story around. So after spending 8 years with Seraphin, Tom and I started talking, and we both thought it'd be a good time for me to branch off, start my own firm, a women-owned business firm. Tom's such a wonderful man that he let me take 3 of my clients with me and his son. And I started a firm called Strategia Consulting. And yes, that's the Italian word for strategy. But now I was a single mom. I went from earning $200,000 a year plus with benefits and insurance to nothing guaranteed. My regular paycheck was gone. Scared? Yep. Crazy? Yep. Excited? Yep. Nervous? I was a journalist all my life. I never took one business class. So how do I start a company? How do I pay my mortgage? How do I provide for my 13-year-old daughter? Early on as a business owner, I made a lot of mistakes. I trusted the wrong people at one point. I was $60,000 in debt. I paid everyone else before I paid myself. I was making enough money so I could make the minimum payment on my Citibank card so I had enough room on it to buy groceries and gas every month. But I knew my craft. I knew how hard work would pay off. And ultimately it did, because 100% of our clients came by referrals only. I kept going. And then, fast forward to December 1st, 2019. A political friend introduced me to Ryan Hibbert. And because of that, he thought we would make a good team. I quickly formed an inseparable bond with Ryan, our general counsel, Alicia, and Justin. And we just kept going. We were starting getting involved in more and more things. Riot. And I equate this to, we have an amazing marketing team that markets our brands and our locations. But I work on marketing our company and really talking about our company in the cities that we operate in, and through government relations and community relations. The culture of Riot Hospitality Group is what makes our company special. Not only do we care about the people that we work with, we care about the communities we operate in. In Nashville, we have 2 locations and are adding a huge 3rd location. So excited to tell you about it later. Do you know that for a city their size, they have 40 city council members? And back to that successful women's thing, the largest caucus in the City Council of Nashville is the Women's Caucus. So we recently held a reception for them, honoring them for their 20 years of being a women's caucus at our Hancock, Nashville location, and it was stupendous. In Denver, almost a year ago, we had an incident outside our Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row location. Lives were saved because of members of the Denver Police Department. And in true Riot fashion, we held an event honoring the men and women of the department for their actions. And there is nothing like seeing an officer get recognized and just hearing the words, "Thank you." So back at home, Riot gives back. We have 3 pillars of giving. We dedicate our time to first responders, military members and their families, and the compassionate care of children. And we are at almost as many events as Mayor Ortega is. We support, here in Scottsdale, the fire department, the police department, and various charities like Scottsdale Community Partnerships and many more. And we're working with the Scottsdale Police Department on a very special event that I can't announce yet. Our foundation is now 3 years old, and since we've been in existence, we've provided help for 80 organizations across the country. So I'm also using my brand to help in my Italian-American heritage, and about 6 months ago, I was asked to be the first woman board member of the Arizona Italian-American Chamber of Commerce, striving to become part of more organizations. And my brother from another mother, Pete Malucci, is here with me today. But this is what I try and do with my brand, is I use it to extend our Riot tentacles into other organizations and companies to talk about our brand, but also to bring other people to our brand too. And that's my role in the company. There is only one thing I am more proud of in my journalistic career and my work at Riot, and that is my daughter, Tessa Rose, sitting here today. Yes, she's a woman of the Riot. She grew up with a working mom who never put the phone down, always answering crisis calls during her softball games or while making dinner at home. She grew up to hear me talk to everyone on the phone: senators, congressmen, mayors, CEOs, law enforcement sources. It was nothing for her to wake up in the morning with me rolling a suitcase to the door and her saying, "Where are you going today, Mommy?" And I would say, "Oh, just to DC, I'll be back tomorrow." She goes, "Okay, have fun." And years later, she would accompany me to DC. She came twice with me. That's her on the right in the White House press room. Yes, we got the West Wing and the East Wing tour. That's us on the speaker's balcony in the Capitol. And thanks to our friend and then Congressman Rodney Davis from Illinois, she got to vote on 3 bills on the House floor. Now, how many of you can say that you voted on the removal of the gray wolf as the endangered species bill in Congress? She did. Rodney had her push the button in for the vote. But Tessa will be the first one to tell you that I do not know how to relax. But that's okay for me. She's been at my side, witnessing how hard work pays off, learning that trust is everything. And if a person crosses my daughter or me, watch out. Don't forget we're Italian. Tessa's building her own brand. And in 12 days, she moves into her dorm at the University of Arizona in the Eller School of Management, finally taking a business course that I never took. Because after school, she wants to come work with us because she loves what we do. So in the beginning, I asked you, if you take one thing away, it's building your own personal brand. I lied. I want to leave you with 3 things. Build your brand. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and hard work does pay off. So now my favorite part of the day is I want to take your questions. Enough about me, back to you. All right, so I know we have that wireless microphone. I'm not going to have all of you say your names again. But honestly, I love answering questions. It can be professional, it can be personal, it can be work-related, it could be, just call me a counselor for the next 15 minutes. Okay, who's the first guinea pig?
Can you tell more about your knighthood?
Yes, can I tell more about my knighthood? Absolutely. I'm second-generation Italian-American. I have more family in Italy than here. And I'm from Chicago, and I'm very, very, very involved in the Chicago Italian-American community. So the Consul General for the Midwest chapter recommended me to the Italian government to receive this knighthood. So the order that I have is, it's an order that is bestowed upon people that live outside of Italy, that work to promote and enhance Italian heritage and culture. So it had to be voted on by the Italian Senate. I have a plaque that's signed by the Italian president, and I wear this pin every day of my professional life because this means the world to me. It means to my culture and to my family. Thank you for asking. Yes?
How'd you end up in Arizona?
How did I end up at Arizona? It was the farthest way I could get from Chicago without going to California, because my mom wouldn't let me go to a California school. Swear to God. I'd never been there, applied blindly, got into 6 schools, and Arizona wasn't the best school that I got into, but I went to. I just knew I wanted to be there, and I think it turned out right for me. Anyone else? Come on. Yes, ma'am.
It may be too big a question, but you said people were liable to slandering you. Did you attack or prove them wrong?
Prove them wrong. The question was, people were slandering me. Did I attack them or did I prove them wrong? I proved them wrong with hard work. I put my nose down. I did my job. I did it well. I got promotions. I had a blessed career, a successful career. And even to this day, you know, I grew up in what is, I hate to say it this way, but was traditionally men's jobs. Newsroom were predominantly men. Sports was men. Politics traditionally had been very male-dominated. And law enforcement, for the 4 years I work in the most in. That's also why I have so many big brothers in my life. My best friends are guys. I find my daughter's the same way. But it's okay, it's what I'm comfortable in, but it's just hard work. Just do your job, and you'll rise to the top. Yes, Mayor, or my friend.
How rewarding is Riot Gives Back?
How rewarding is Riot Gives Back? As a company, we were absolutely blessed when Ryan Hibbert, our CEO, said he wanted to start a foundation. That's hard to do. It's hard to fund it, it's hard to start it, it's hard to run it. But Victoria's here with me, she works with it on me, and we could tell you how many oodles of donation requests we get. It's amazing. And we literally pare it down to the communities that we operate in, and if it fits one of our 3 pillars. But when we can help the children at the NICU unit at Honor Health, or our law enforcement officers, we gave a bulletproof canine vest to one of the dogs in Gilbert PD. It's giving back. And for a company to be able to give back, it means the world. And I take pride in running the foundation because it's what we do. We give back. Yes, ma'am, back there. Absolutely. So what is the vision for Riot Hospitality Group in Scottsdale in the next 5 years? We're expanding so much that Alicia and I are going to take a leave of absence because we're going to pass out from work too much. No, we actually have, you saw in that video, we have a high-end restaurant called Calle Rosa that we're building right on Camelback Road in the entertainment district. We have another high-end steak restaurant that is across the street from that. That's building that will be announced soon as its name. The new Maya Hotel, or excuse me, the new Remy Hotel that's going up, we're going to be working on the food and beverage in that hotel as well. So all of our expansion in Scottsdale are high-end restaurant concepts right now. And we love doing that. It's what we do. Everything in our nightlife has high-end food because we believe in creating great experiences for people. Whether you come to our restaurant for breakfast or coffee, or you come to nightlife or whatever it is, we want your experience to be better than the last one. If you come back a third time, we want it to be better than the second time. And our team works on that so hard. And the other most important thing about our company is we promote from within as best as we can. Our general manager at Farm and Craft came to the United States from Colombia not speaking a word of English. And now he's our general manager. Shelby at our table is our general manager at Handcut Chop House. She started at Whiskey Road Gilbert as a hostess, and she's now our general manager. So that's what we do. We have good people, and they don't leave us. Tammy.
I've been working in construction all of my life, so your stories about that egregious sexism didn't surprise me in the slightest, and I still see it every single day. So I guess my question is, I always say the same thing as well. Work harder, distinguish yourself, but it's not just work harder, because a lot of us work hard and it's still an issue. So I guess big picture question, since your daughter's sitting in the room and I see a lot of other young women and business women in the room, I mean, what's the advice for the next generation? How do we continue to move the needle and make things better for women in those very traditional sexist occupations, construction, politics, the newsroom, sports? I'm always fascinated with this conversation.
How do you,
What would you give for your advice to your daughter or any of the, not so quick ones?
no, it's okay. I love being on the spot. It's crisis communication. I'm going to spin right now, Tammy. My philosophy is if you love what you do, you're going to be good at it. So that's number one, is find something that you love to do and make sure, and then it'll be natural for you to be good at it. And I'm going to go back to the success thing is go out there and shake people's hands and look people in the face. If you make a mistake, admit to it right away, but make sure you never make it again. But be that person that says hi and stands up. And if a woman is looking at a man, you're not looking at a man, you're looking at a person. And treat them that way. Look them in the eye, shake their hand, and say, it's nice to meet you. If you treat everyone equally, hopefully they'll treat you back equally. But it's, yes, we still see it. Do I see it? Of course I see it all the time. But it's it's evolution. It's getting better. Look at this room. Poor Coco's the only guy at our table. Yes?
Are you considering any moving into Phoenix at all for any of the business?
We consider every city all the time. If I could tell you what's in Ryan Hibbert's head right now, I don't know. It's scary. He's ingenious. Another thing about our company is we don't say, okay, we're going to open up 4 farm and crafts in 4 cities. We actually find a location or a piece of real estate, whatever it is, and if it's a good fit for us and a good deal for us, we then determine what we want to put there. Like Kairos is a new brand we've never had before. Maybe we do want to open up another hand-cut shop house. So we have this autonomy and these great brands because they all stand on their own, and the creativity is unbelievable. Traditionally, hospitality management companies hire outside firms to come up with the concept and the look and the menu and the colors and the drinks. We do that all in-house. So it's what we do, and it's that creativity there's not creative bone in our company body. Sarah's nodding profusely. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that when you first got into business, you made some decisions and trusted people that you shouldn't have. Since then, you clearly amassed to be credible to the people around you. What did you learn when you made that shift from not trusting the right people to not only trusting the right people, but attracting them to you?
My biggest problem was, since not being a business major, one of the first people that helped me start my company, I let him run the business of it. And I wasn't paying attention to it. And he was making mistakes. I don't want to say they were malicious mistakes. There were just really bad things going on I was the sole owner. I'm like, what is going on? And that's how I got into debt. But I talked to a couple of CEO friends of mine who were successful. And they said, you know what, Liz, I made those same mistakes too. And that's what made me feel better. And so then I just looked at, you kind of look at people around you and be like, okay, you're good at this. Is that really what I need? You're good at that. Do I need that? I like surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me and know different things, because then I'm a sponge. My friend Sarah, who we are each other's dates in all the cities that we operate in, I know nothing about what she does. She sets up all of our events and our catering. And I'm learning so much from her just being around her. And I love learning about other things, because the more I know, the better I can do my job. So, yes, ma'am.
You said your first experience with slander in the professional world was actually a woman who started talking about you. Is that also something that you dealt with in your career? Because I would imagine in kind of these boys' club positions, women are vying to be seen or vying for power. And so is that something you think is getting better as well?
The question was my first slander was actually by a woman, and did I see that more, and do I think it's getting better? I know for a fact, starting as my second job as a journalist in the number 3 market, the most ruthless newsroom in the country at the time, that was why I was thrown under the bus by the Slated, because 21. People get to the number 3 market in the television career in their 30s. So that was an uphill battle. I didn't see a lot of it, but I did see women doing wrong things, unethical things, which no way. But it still happens. But that's why I'm not friends with those people. I'm nice to them, I say hi, and I walk away. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you share a couple memorable connections or experiences with your daughter that you guys had?
Oh my God, a couple memorable connections or experiences with my daughter. She was on her first flight when she was 8 weeks old, and she's never stopped. We travel a lot together. We go see our family in Italy together a lot. And that's, someone asked me the other day, what do I like to do? I said, I like to play golf and I like to go to Italy to see my family because I miss them. But it's my work experiences. When I was a journalist, and I just had Tess, she was 4 when I left television news. I was upset because journalism was such a great career for me, and I loved being a journalist, and I loved informing people. And I was remiss that she wasn't going to grow up in a newsroom. But she's grown up in the civic mindedness of what I do. And that, to me, is just as important. She's never missed an election voting. I can't tell you how many congressmen she's driven to the airport and friends that she meets. It's nothing for her to say hi to Mayor Ortega because she sees him all the time. But it's a civic duty that is important to me. And I will tell you, as a lobbyist in Illinois 12 years ago, I was a lobbyist on a piece of legislation in the state that made it mandatory to take a civics class in high school before you graduate. Illinois was one of 9 classes at the time that didn't have that mandatory requirement. So Tess is a freshman in high school one day, or excuse me, a junior, and she sends me a text message with something circled on it. I go, what's that, honey? She goes, that's the legislation you passed in the class I have to take because of you. But she was also with me when that piece of legislation passed, and she watched the vote. So it's those things that I'm grateful for. She's not growing up as a journalist, she's growing up in civic mindedness, and I'm proud of that. I know Stephanie's leaking, but hold on a second. So in the world of social media, okay, everyone smile, we gotta get a selfie. Smile. Perfect. Thank you all, it's been a pleasure.